All right, so appreciate you guys hopping on. A monumental episode here. This is the first episode, episode 2, first episode where I have 2 guests, first episode on the road. So seeing as we're here in Madison, big work day tomorrow, and we're losing an hour of sleep. So really appreciate you guys taking the time.
I realized that actually.
Yeah, daylight savings, yeah, jump ahead or jump behind. I'm not sure which one exactly, but again, really appreciate it because you guys have been kind of around since like the inception of this project. I remember Peter, I think I called you towards the end of like January or early February when I had this idea. Early in the morning too, I think I just got done with a workout, called you and I said like, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? And you gave me some feedback. You said it'd be a good idea. Probably just some feedback that I wanted to hear, but hopefully this transpires into something cool. And Isaiah, on our way to Eau Claire, our long trip to Eau Claire. Great drive. Among many of our conversations, this was one of them.
Yeah.
So I was pumped to have you guys here. So I want to start with a little bit of background. Peter, Downers Grove native, Downers Grove South High School, standout in baseball. Division II pitcher at Lewis University in Romeoville, Illinois. And now you're an area scout with Prep Baseball Report. And Isaiah, Glendale, Wisconsin, Nicolay High School. Baseball and basketball stand out. So we'll get into some basketball stuff later. But I want to ask you guys, when was the first time you, if you can recall, picked up a baseball? And also, when did you start to actually enjoy the sport? Like realize that you liked playing?
It was pretty young. I was always like throwing stuff around the house. Like there's home videos of just like me as a kid just like throwing objects around. So I've always like just had a natural drawing to throwing, I guess. Just like I was always pretty good at it, had a good arm. But I didn't start playing organized baseball until I was 7 years old. I didn't play t-ball. I just went into like coach pitch. And then I was always had a good arm, obviously, but I didn't actually start pitching like well until I was maybe like 9 or so. I would always warm up. Like the first year we were allowed to throw was like when we were like pitched to each other. It was coach pitch, and then we could pitch, and it was I don't know, maybe 8 years old. I would warm up really hard, like try and like show off the arm, but then the second a kid got in the box, I would lob it because I didn't want to hit him. And so I had to like deal with that for like a year, and then I finally was just like, F it, I'm just gonna throw hard. And then I kind of took off and like the I am a pitcher now like mentality. It's where that's probably 9 years old is when I like figured out that I want to like pitch, and I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same lines with Pete here. I mean, I was like, I can't remember the first time I played baseball. I mean, I played t-ball. My dad was a big sports guy, so I played every single sport there was when I was young. And then I kind of figured out that baseball and basketball were like my two, the ones I actually like wanted to play. But like I would always, yeah, I mean, again, I would always just throw a baseball. I would love to just play catch all the time. And then I would say I was in like little league, and like of course everyone would hit, and like I was a pretty solid hitter. I mean, little league wise, but I didn't really realize that I was like wanted to be a pitcher. Probably until like my sophomore junior year of high school. Like if I don't, for me it was like whenever you become like a PO, it was like it was like, oh, you're just not good at anything else, and like I always thought I was like better at hitting than I actually was. So it's kind of like a mental thing for me. But then like I realized like I always threw the ball hard. I had no clue where it was going, but I always threw it hard. And yeah, like sophomore, junior year of high school is when I was like, okay, probably not gonna go to college to be a hitter. So let's kind of focus in on pitching. You can hit whenever you want, but kind of that's when I started really getting into like pitching mechanics, different type of pitches, and all that stuff. But yeah,
So played little league, played kind of youth. what was the state of baseball? Maybe not even baseball, but just athletics then. I think it's kind of changed and developed over the years. So, what was kind of the mentality? I feel like back then, when I playing sports growing up, I never really thought. You had idols, you had people that you wanted to be maybe, but it was never okay. This is the attack plan to get there. I feel like now it's somewhat like that, where you almost have this plan of attack. What was the state? What was your kind of mindset? Was it just fun?
Yeah, so I remember I never like I always loved baseball and I wanted to play it, but like I didn't play on a travel team till that my like I think it was freshman or sophomore year of high school, and I remember I tried out, and the coach there was like, I threw a ball like pretty somewhat hard back then, and the coach was like, he came up to me right after the tryout and he was like, yeah, we're gonna get you if you come here, you're gonna play college. I was like, and like hearing that, I was like, I never thought that I could do it. Just like you like college is like a big step from like just playing like normal like high school travel ball and then like D1 college. You're like I just never thought of myself like that. So then like that. So with my freshman sophomore was when I really realized like, hey, we could actually do something like, get school paid for, maybe who knows what after that too. So yeah, I would say the freshman sophomore is when I really realized, and then but now, there's seventh graders who are committing to these school. Like back then, like that never happened. Like I committed early, like my junior year of high school, and like now kids are committing. They don't even know where they're going to high school yet, and they're already committed to colleges. It's like it's a legit business now. Not back then. It was more just like I had fun. I was good, and then kind of just it happened. But like now it's like if you don't do it, then you're like a failure. I guess I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything to say.
No, I mean, I always kind of had high expectations for myself. Like I always knew I was going to play in college. I always thought I would like make it to the MLB. It wasn't like I wanted to. It's like I like knew like was going to
What made you so confident?
because I was just better than everyone.
When did you realize that? When did you realize
When I
that you?
I mean that came off really arrogant, but it was like in Little League, like obviously every Little League had like that one kid that like threw absolute gas and like everyone was scared of. And I guess there was like I would say in our league there was like 3 of us that were like that. And so just having people like pump me up, I guess at that young age, like everyone was scared of me. They all told me that. So like I knew that like okay, I must be pretty good at this then. So like I always like wanted to be a baseball player. I remember I'd be like in the yard throwing against my pitch back. My neighbor comes home from work. Hey, Mrs. Lambert, how hard do you think I'm going to throw someday? Like 100? She's like, maybe 98. And I was obviously never got up that high, but it was like I always had like, and there was never a doubt that I wasn't going to do it. It just kind of just figured it would happen eventually, but I didn't actually start. That was kind of just like not even unrealistic, I guess, but like the dream without any thought behind it. I would say I started taking it serious serious, as serious as a 5th grader can take it, because I was in 5th grade. I started playing travel ball for the first time, and like up until then it was all fun. Like it was just with the boys, like just hanging out. Then I joined a travel team we were all still friends, but like the head coach, like we were really competitive, and he was maybe one of the best coaches I've ever had from 5th through 8th grade. On the Hinsdale Cobras, that's what we were called. Just like a one age group team, no like organization, just one group. We went all the way through to 8th grade. Mr. Rafferty was the coach. I thought he was a great coach because he was hard on us, especially like me at times, but it was with good reason. He was getting us ready for the next level. That was like the first thing he told us and our parents was he's going to get us ready for high school. And he absolutely did that. Like he, better than I think a lot of the kids these days coming up now, like he prepped us better than I'm seeing a lot of these kids getting prepped, just with like the tough love and like, I mean, just really well coached. Like we were a well coached team as well. He played at TCU, so like he knew his stuff. Like he's a very good coach. But yeah, that was kind of when I started like the change kind of flipped from like little league to travel ball, and then high school. I didn't like touch a weight room until college, but that's like the other difference nowadays is just the training regimens these kids are on. They're all throwing. Yeah, I mean 90 nowadays is like nothing. Yeah, but
90 back then,
that was like a
if
huge.
He was throwing 90 in high school. You're like, okay, this guy's going to pros. He's going to be the best player ever play baseball.
Huge deal. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I didn't become a PO till sophomore year. I think I played third base and I sucked at it, so I told my coach to stop putting me at third base. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it wasn't. It was more of like a just throw and just kind of just grow into myself, not really like train type of deal.
Yeah, it's different now for sure. Like even like the facilities too nowadays. Like they have like these like multi-million-dollar weight rooms with like the most insane setups you ever had. Like when I was in high school, we trained in a garage, pretty much like the person that owned it like worked for like some company, and we had like a little corner of the garage, and it was literally just like we put some turf down. We had 2 batting cages, 1 pitching mound, and like a little rest area, and that's literally all we had. But now these places have like just 16 weight racks, like every single kind of machine you could ever think of. It's crazy, actually. Now, it's crazy.
So now you guys are moving into high school, and I don't want to get too much into the recruiting process for reasons. We've spoken offline about it. I think there's a number of reasons why it's different for everyone. Everyone wants different things, and then when you ask people about it, you often get the stock answers on why they selected a certain school. But I think you both have some unique experiences with the recruiting process. And Peter, I know a big thing for you, one thing that you've highlighted is grades. I know that was kind of a big component and maybe swayed some things one way or another during that recruiting process. What was it about grades that maybe if grades were, a different story, or if they weren't, didn't come into play, your collegiate career would have happened elsewhere other than Lewis University?
Right. So for me, my grades was an issue. Just like I was never stupid. I just didn't see the importance in like trying, which was looking back really silly because my travel team coach in high school now, I was with Long Shots baseball. I remember when I first made the team, he talked to us about the importance of our grades, and I kind of just like rolled my eyes and zoned out, just like how I'm sure a lot of kids now, when I tell them about grades, that's what they do, but like they'll realize one day that like how important they are. I literally was not eligible to play Division I baseball because my GPA. I think back when I was in high school, I think you had to have a 2.3 or a 2.5.
It was something like that.
Yeah, I had a 2 flat, so I could not play Division I even if I obviously did want to. But I mean, even with that being said, I still had, like right when the first day like a school could contact you, which was like my junior summer going into senior year, I remember my voicemail was like not blowing up, but I was getting some calls, like schools that I never even heard of at the time. Like I had Gonzaga, like we talked about briefly, Creighton. I had to look these schools up. I didn't even know where they were. And then like Tennessee Martin, which was a Division I in Tennessee, which is actually a school I went on a visit to and got offered, despite not even being eligible to play there, which didn't make, I don't know, whatever. But besides the point, I was fully just negligent to the grades, basically, and did not understand or realize the importance until it was too late. And I was completely like 99.9% gonna go the JUCO route. I was about to commit to Heartland. I remember like having the talk with my parents of like, I think I'm gonna go to Heartland. Like I just went and got offered. I really like it. They turn players out to Division I programs left and right like it's their job, because it is their job. And so I was like, man, I really want to go there. And then Lewis, I remember they came and watched me throw in the state. It was summer state for the summer state tournament. And they called me after, asked if I want to come for a visit. And I remember not wanting to go. And I wasn't going to go, actually, because I was set on like JUCO basically at this point. My mom's like, no, just go visit. I was like, all right, Mom, whatever, I'll go. And obviously ended up really liking it. I liked the coaching staff a lot. I liked the idea of playing a lot, which I think is very important that kids need to understand now, is to go where you're wanted and where you're going to play. Because I remember when I was at my visit for UTM, I'm sure it's not the same coach anymore, but right after he offered me, he just kind of looked at me and he was like, well, there's your Division I offer. Like, it was just like trying to flex the D1 on you, whereas I went to Lewis and they were just like so fired up that I was there. And I was like, this feels different here. Like, I really like this. And that was kind of the way that I got sucked into Lewis, I guess. Like, I just loved how close it was too, because I really wanted my parents to come visit or watch me play. But yeah, it was definitely, I would have not expected. If you would told me that I was going to go to Lewis like my junior year, I would have been like, no way.
What do you say to kids right now or to players right now who aren't taking their grades as serious because of maybe the state that baseball or even youth athletics in general is? They might think, okay, as long as I have my game right, that'll take care of itself.
I mean, I guess you could get drafted if you're that good, but not many of you kids are.
Well, it's just
You know,
baseball. Like,
realistically.
for other sports, you got to go to college too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
basketball, football.
But even scouts will like look at your grades, even if you're not going to college. It's like, okay, this kid's lazy. This kid's not going to work hard for us. Like, grades are so important just because it keeps open the amount of schools that can talk to you. And if you're throwing 90, but you got a 2.5, and buddy over there is throwing 90, or even like 88, but he's got like a 4, guess what? They're going to probably go after him because he's for sure not going to be ineligible at any point. He's going to be able to play right away. Hard worker because he has good grades. They could probably throw him some money academically. And so, like, there's just all these factors that go into it with grades that kids don't realize and that I didn't realize until it was too late.
Yeah. Isaiah, I know you had some unique things going on with your recruiting process. Was basketball ever?
But like, so no, basketball for me, I just loved that. I loved to play basketball so much, and like I was never the most like athletic person, like nothing like that. But like, I don't know if it's gonna sound cocky, but like there was just like I just like could like slow the game down. Like I would just like see things happen. Like there was definitely people on my team that were a hell of a lot more athletic than I was for sure, and like they would just like do the dumbest things I've ever seen. I'm like. And I just always had like a knack for just kind of finding the right spots, finding the right guy to pass to, just something like that. But again, like I'm not an super athletic person, but I was a 3-point shooter, yes, in high school. But in basketball, it was never. I think one school tried to reach out to me after one high school game, but that was kind of too late. That was already like when I was like, okay, it's baseball or nothing, basically. So I never really responded to that. But I feel like I could have played somewhere. I mean, if I wanted to play basketball, I could have played somewhere. Nothing crazy, but like a very small school. But yeah.
So I read a Q&A you did with PBR
Yeah.
asking about your recruiting process. And one thing you had mentioned was the word pressure. What pressure did you feel? Because you eventually went on and you committed to Bradley and pitched there. But what was it about? Was it schools contacting you, having to make a decision, the timeline? Like, what was it for you that
It was more just kind of like me thinking like, hey, I'm going to be at the school for 4 years. Like, I don't want it to suck. I don't want to be the guy that transfers, like, from school to school every single year. Like, it was me just kind of looking for pretty much like a home, to be honest. And I was really just nervous of like, just like finding that school. Like I didn't know, and so I just wanted to make the right choice, and I think I did make the right choice. As weird as it does sound, but like some of my like the friends I have that I met at Bradley, literally like they are my best friends I've ever made in my life. Like that was like a big thing. Like I was just so nervous of just like making the wrong decision, and then having to tell my parents like, hey, I want to transfer, and then having to go through the transfer portal and all that stuff, and just like not liking my first year of college and like wasting those 4 because like everyone says those 4 years are like your most fun years of your life, like just wasting one of those years, not having fun. And it was just me. Yeah, I just wanted to find a home, and I think I did. But yeah, I was just so scared of, and like also making it early too. Like I made it in that back then it was like early-ish, and I was just kind of nervous about it, in that kind of sense.
Now going into college, you're at Bradley University, you're at Lewis. Compare and contrast your like a day-to-day responsibilities, what your days look like. A typical day for a Division I, Division II player. Facilities different, locations different. What were some of the things you guys did to, like, not together, but did commonalities there, and what differed?
Yeah, so a normal day at Bradley, we'd wake up at, we'd have lifts it kind of depended on between 5:30 and 7:30. We'd have workouts in the morning, and we worked out at, so we had this big like athletic building kind of thing. It's like, it was like the women's basketball team plays, but like underneath, like underground, there's a bunch, like that's where our weight room was. We had a locker room there, like trainers and all that stuff. That's where they were at. So we'd wake up between anywhere from 5:30 to 7:30. We'd lift there for hour and a half, and then like depending on like my class schedule, I would go to class right after, or I would go take a nap, and then either do school or just kind of be at home hanging out until like 2:30, and then we have to drive to like we had Louisville Slugger Dome. We would practice there because we didn't have anything on campus for us. So we had to drive there, and then practice from 3:30 till like 6:30ish, I would say. Then after that, kind of clean up the place. We would probably get out there till 7:30, and then after that, not really do much. Just kind of get back, try to get homework done as much as you can, just because you're beat after the day, and then pretty much wake up the next day, do it all over. I don't know. Every day was pretty much the same for the most part, besides just class schedules.
Yeah, our days were not as consistent, I would say, or at least differing from like year to year.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have like, we would wake up, or I guess I would wake up, go to school, and then there was like, we had like shifts almost on when we would lift. We had like multiple lift groups throughout the day. So that'd be according to like your class, like the time. Yeah.
Sometimes, but yeah.
And so like I would go to a class or two and then lift, and then so my first 2 years I lived at home, so like 25 minutes away. So it was a little too far to like go back and forth. So I would just be on campus a lot. Really all 4 years, but mainly like the first two. So I'd be like hanging out somewhere. We played ping pong a lot. That was like our go-to. So it'd be like, yeah, we were pretty good. We were pretty rowdy, but like go to class, lift, get some homework done, ping pong, eat, and then practice from like 3 o'clock or so to like anywhere from 4 to 6. Like it would vary on what we were doing that day, but I thought you just would give me like a crazy look. So yeah, then after that we really didn't have to do much. We didn't have to like, the pitchers would usually get out a few minutes before, so we got kind of lucky. We didn't have to like clean up anything. So
You had to wait. 'Cause
yeah,
was just,
our coach let us go.
No,
It was sweet.
we're a team.
But then then I'd would grab food with the teammates in the dining hall, or go home, watch a movie with my roommate or something. So yeah, it's a little different, but
I think this question is appropriate seeing as I have two pitchers in here. Is there anything better than being in the bullpen on a day off, on an off day, a day where you're not throwing? And talk to me about being in a bullpen where you guys don't have any responsibilities for that given day.
yeah, I think the best feeling in the world is the day after you shove it up someone's ass.
I love it.
And then you're in the bullpen, you get to the field, you go for your run, and then you get back.
You still ran?
Huh?
You would run?
Yeah, like a 20-minute run. Like, yeah, the day after. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's messed up.
A start?
No, we would go lift at the opposing team's like workout place. After
No,
our
I'm
set.
saying like we're at the field already.
I know we would lift then.
Oh, no, so our routine for like the group that threw that day before, we would go on a campus run.
Really?
So we would go run around these campuses. I don't know if it was like us that kind of started that or the coach.
It's kind of cool though.
It was sweet.
Yeah,
we got to
sick.
Yeah, we got to see the campuses
Yeah.
and stuff, and we'd like pick out our favorite. We'd have like routes that we'd go to and like just explore some cool spots. But yeah, I think there's nothing better than like getting back from that campus run, throwing in a little lip, and sit in the bullpen and just like just watch the team that day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna agree. That's all I'm gonna say. We would just lift after we weren't doing run. We weren't really big on running. We would just go and like it was like a very easy lift. Like it was nothing. It was more just like kind of get those muscles going again. Like we would do. It was a lot of like arm stuff and then like hips, legs, like all that. Like just like it was pretty much a full body workout, but just kind of like getting those muscles ready, I guess, or like I don't know. Really, to be honest, I don't know why we did it, but it kind of worked out. I guess I don't know.
I think sports has taken all of us to like pretty cool places. I know Peter played the Cape Cod League, kind of the what's seen as the mecca of summer leagues. Isaiah, what experiences did you have maybe in summer leagues or maybe just in general with sports, and what are some cool places that you've been to?
I mean, like just baseball has taken me. I've been to so many states because of baseball. Just like seeing like not even just like me, like playing, but just like me and my family like loving just baseball in general. Like we would travel when we were younger. My brothers and I we would go all around just literally just go watch a MLB game, stay in a hotel one night, and then like go back home. Like we used to do that all the time. But then like in college, like when we played like Georgia Tech, like seeing the campus like that and like a field like that, we're we're nothing. Not in that kind of way. We ended up winning the game, but like seeing something like that, like we would go hit a bunch of just like minor league parks, like just seeing stuff like that, and like even we played at a minor league park and like seeing those guys, like they're the best players from like what they're trying to get. They are at where we're trying to get every single one on our team, and like seeing them like every single day, and like we would we became close with like not close but like talkative with like some of these guys who just like they're so just chill, but they're like also just insane at baseball. Like it's just I met so many cool people through the game, like people that like are just so not I want to say like big time, I guess, but like yeah, I mean the big time is the best word I can think, but like they're so normal and you never think about that. Like just meeting people, seeing these new places, like it's unreal. It really was, especially like through college, like even now too. Like still like if I didn't play baseball in college, I wouldn't be where I am now. And like today, got to slide down the Brewers slide. like if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said that'd be the coolest thing in my life. But yeah, let me know when that happens, and it really happened a few hours ago. So or more than a few, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess starting like my first summer that I played in college, which was a local league, and it was with the DuPage Hounds, and that was like maybe the most fun I had in the summer, just because we were all like dudes that we just like not grew up, but like we've all known each other. A lot of us had known each other since like high school, and so we were just all on the same team again, like reunited and just like beating teams. It was just fun. And then my next 2 summers I played in the Northwoods in lacrosse, And then the summer after that was the first half was the Northwoods and lacrosse again, and then the second half was Cape Cod, and yeah, I mean the Northwoods was kind of like a holy crap moment when I got there because everyone kind of knew the Northwoods, and it was like this like
That's when it was like becoming pretty.
that
big
was when it was like
too.
a big time league. Yeah, it was like prestigious.
Yeah,
I was like, holy crap, can I compete there? And like lacrosse was, we would get a lot of fans. I think we were second in the whole. Madison was the only team. Yeah, they were the only team with more attendance than us, and we would average like anywhere from, I don't know, 2,000 to 4,000 a game, which like for me, coming from 100, from like on a good day, it was just like, what am I doing here? And like, of course, my first game was like 4th of July, so we had fireworks after, so it was like 6,000 people there, and so like I was just like, holy crap! I kind of hope I don't pitch tonight, and but I settled in eventually, and to where I just fell in love with just like going to the stadium, like we'd have a game at like 6, we'd get there at like noon, just to get extra work in, and it was just sick because you're at the field all day, just like a stadium all day. So like I just fell in love with that, and then Cape Cod was a lot different. Northwoods is a grueling schedule, and they do that on purpose to make it like a minor league schedule, which I liked, because kept us busy. But
that had to be a grind.
it was a grind for sure, but it was a fun grind. Like we got really close with the guys. And my host family was amazing. I had the same host family both times, and it was just like I had the best setup by far. I had a jacuzzi in my bathroom, pool in the backyard. Yeah, it was sick. But and the family, they were just top tier as well. They were just awesome. But Cape Cod, so I was actually, the first half of the summer, I was in the Northwoods, and then I hit
Which year was this?
this was going into my senior year. So I was in the Northwoods. I kind of had to talk my way into going there with my coach because he didn't want me to go at all because I'd already thrown like over 70 innings that spring. And I was even getting advised from a former, I don't think he's still with the Giants, I believe, but he's not that area anymore. He was telling me like, I don't think you should go. I think you should stay home and work with this guy named Ryan Quigley, with a local team, just pitch with them. And I was like, yeah, I really want to go though. So like I went. They're like, okay, fine, do whatever you want, man. Like it's your life. So I went. I came back and I was working with Quigs a little bit, pitching for the Joliet Dirtbags. And I was just laying in bed one day, and my coach called me. He's like, "Hey Pete, do you want to go to Cape Cod?" I was like, well, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I just got a call from their pitching coach asking if you want to come down and pitch." And I was like, "Yes." Like that's been like my dream for a long time. So like it all happened so quick. I just got on a plane like the next day or two, and I was there, and just it was kind of like boom, boom, boom. I'm just at the field watching 95, just like.
Every single pitch.
Every kid, dude. No one was under.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was like the Northwoods was obviously really talented, and that was like taking me back just watching that. But then Cape Cod was just totally like.
I mean, it's different. Yeah.
It's just different there. Yeah, and I was like, holy cow! Like this is amazing. Like you playing at high school fields basically with like, it's a packed house, so it's like a super sectional game every day because it's like a high school field, but there's like a million people there, and just the whole vibe. It's like it kind of brings you back to like your roots a little bit. Like you're just with the boys playing some good baseball. On like on an old like a crappy little field. Like nothing special about it, but it's just like special for that reason. I think not even just because it's like the best players in the country there. It's like there's just something different about it. It's like
more for like a game and just
it's like America.
It's like a business.
It's like this is America. Like a July night. Just like out at the park, just watching some good baseball. Like that was kind of the difference, and it was a more relaxed like schedule as well. We had off days every week, whereas Northwoods, I think we had like 2 off days the whole summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely a different schedule, but yeah, I mean, obviously talent-wise, it was just unbelievable. There was multiple first rounders. I think on my team alone we had a couple, and then just like draft picks up and down the whole league, obviously, and like literally didn't see a pitch under 90, except for the kid that won reliever of the year, he was topping out at like 87, but he had like the best slider you've ever seen in your life. And dudes were coming back to the dugout being like, man, it looks like he's throwing a pool cue ball at you because you can't see anything. The spin's like that high. And he was the slowest arm we saw, and he was the reliever of the year.
I kind of want to touch on softball too. Again, I didn't really bring it up, but yeah, my freshman year, I played in the Ohio Valley League (OVL). Played in Paducah, Kentucky, very small town, and it was more just like for me to get like kind of like just the pitch basically. And I kind of went in there not knowing what to expect. I had a friend or two friends that played there, so it was fun. But they didn't really like. Kind of made me feel like scared about it, and like it was my first time. Like I was 8 hours away from Milwaukee. Like first time being that far away from home for like an extended period of time. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna like what's gonna happen. Like, and I've never heard about the Ohio Valley, like this random league. And I remember I went in there, and it was so Paducah, very small town, so. And the Paducah Chiefs, the team I played for, that was like their thing. And like the first game, I remember, I've never pitched in front of more people in my life. Like I remember I relieved. I think I closed the game or something like that. And I remember I got up there. I was like, okay, I don't know what is gonna happen here. Like I don't know a number, but like it was like this super old minor league park. Like not a lot of stands, but like it was full. It was full. There's people down the lines. I'm like. People were cheering. I think it was a close game too, and like it was my first like summer league game, and I was so nervous getting up on that mound. It was by far the most people I've ever pitched against in my life, or pitched in front of in my life. And so it was, but like, and then I think I did pretty well. I think we got out like, no, I think ended up winning the game, and I was like, that was sick, and then. Like all the teams that we would play would just be like kind of not they would just be like high school fields, and it kind of like just brought me back to like, it's just a game, and just kind of like that was my the best I've pitched probably in my life, to be honest. Because I was just like having fun again, not like thinking about it, just going out there pitching, and then like me and like we all I thought our team got like pretty close. Like we just had like we'd play a game, go to someone's house, hang out, have fun, and then like we do the same thing over again the next day. Like when we had like our off days, but we probably played 6 games a week, I would say. Like we wouldn't practice ever, but like when we got that off day, it was just we would all meet up somewhere, grab food, do whatever, like go out, whatever it was. And it was that summer I remember it was so much fun, and we would play at these just gross fields, like these fields you'd like even when I was in high school, if you played them you're like, what am I playing on? But like we didn't even like think about it at the time. We were just like, oh, just here for another game, just gonna play some baseball. And that summer was a blast. My freshman year, I remember that. It was so much fun.
I got a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
The Northwoods, like those fans take it so seriously.
Yeah.
There that you are their like team.
Like we would we'd sign autographs.
Yeah,
and,
same.
Like, I'm
it was like
this normal person. Like I'm not good at baseball.
Yeah, right.
like dude, I'm not that guy. I'd be like idols. Like,
yeah.
Everyone chill here.
So yeah, like you were like walking around town, like you were like famous.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And like people would like buy you food if you're wearing like in between, like we'd have like time between like BP and the game, like get food.
Yeah.
You're in Subway. It's, oh my God, you're. They'd buy you a sandwich. Like
it's so funny.
In uniform, were you in?
Yeah, dude. Like I would like a.
We do it on
shirt.
purpose. Yeah. But
You're
like
a broke boy college.
Yeah. But like signing autographs for kids. We had grown men with scrapbooks of us.
Yeah.
And like they want you to sign it, and like me, like I wasn't like. I mean, we had like dudes from SEC, like Corey Lee. With the Astros now, he was a first rounder a couple of years ago. We had dudes like that, and then it was like me from Lewis, just like, I mean, I pitched a lot. I was one of the main starters, so like they knew me there, but like, I just didn't feel like, it's not imposter syndrome, but it was just like me. It was like really, like, I don't know. I go to Lewis, like, So, but no, it was sweet. Like the kids look up to you for sure. Like,
cool.
yeah,
Really cool.
there was days where like we would go to like the local. It must have been like a daycare or something because they weren't in school, but it was like hang out with the logger.
Yeah.
And like we'd just go hang out. I was playing with like 4-year-olds. Just like me and another teammate was like, all right.
That's like the thing with like those lacrosse. I mean, it's not small, but it's not like big. So like, they have like they need some to like kind of lock into and like
and they love the loggers. Yeah, but
it's funny.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
It was actually it was sick. Like they really cared a lot about like the team, where like the atmosphere was like not stressful by any means, but like my last game I pitched was like I think our last home game. My first summer there, I threw our last home game. I believe there was over 7,000 people there. Yeah, and I was just like, just looking around. Like I look back, like in the moment, I didn't really notice it, but like looking back at the video, it was like that's crazy. Yeah. Like looking at all those people there, like that actually care about the game. Like you go to a game, it's like a group of people like. A lot of people like don't actually care. They're just like they're just there to have a good time. These people are locked in.
It's like it's a thing for like those small town sunballs teams. Like they're like ride or die. It's weird.
Yeah, like more than the
not
Brewers.
weird, but like it's just
it's not weird. Yeah.
You're like okay, like it's different for them. It's something you're not used to.
Yeah, which I get it. Like if we're their only team, then like, that makes sense. But yeah,
it was definitely cool. I mean, even like the teams we played against too, like. It was like we had like rivalries in like a summer, like and like we'd be chilling, like hanging out in the bullpen, and these fans would just be like yelling at us, screaming at us for like, hey guys, we're just trying to play some baseball, and like these people are just yelling at you, cussing you out. You're like, okay, like I guess it's different, and it kind of fires you up before you go out and pitch too. You're like, okay, like F these guys, but like it was my summer ball. It was wild. It was definitely like a. I wasn't used to it one bit. Not people caring like baseball like that. And it was like I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so cool.
Pete, I'm glad you reminded me. I need you to sign my scrapbook once we're done with this. Yeah. No, it's crazy to think like the places that sports has taken all of us, even myself, wrestling in high school, wrestling in massive convention centers with like, I wrestled in the freshman, sophomore state tournament twice. Also in high school, going to South Carolina for baseball, getting out of the cold weather for spring break. We went to Panama City Beach, Florida, my senior year, and it was, my high school coach took us down there. It had to have been late March, and my coach, it was college spring break at the time too. And we're seniors, right? We're seniors, juniors, seniors in high school, 16, 17, I don't think any of us had turned 18 yet, but my coach did not know what he got us into. He did not know. Like, we saw the stuff that was going on the beach, did not let us go on the beach. And of course, we went on the beach when he wasn't watching.
17-year-old do.
Yeah. And I hope everyone experiences that through whatever they do, whether it's art, comedy, music, us through sports. You mentioned it, Brewers. Shout out Vinny Rotino getting us down the Bernie Brewer slide. That's really cool. So all those experiences, I think, really stand out. Those are things that I know you guys will tell your, family and kids about one day.
I can't even think about half the stuff.
Yeah.
So many things.
You brought it up, nerves.
Yeah.
I know you have a distinct experience playing in college where, coach, we're not name dropping, but something was said to you that the way you perceived it, for lack of a better term, rattled you a little bit. Yeah. And can you
so it didn't really that was not where it started, so I would say it kind of started when I got to college. So that's kind of what I realized. So back in high school, I was not go through the motions, but I could just go out there, pitch, not think about it, and I don't want to be arrogant here, but I would be the best. I was just it just
the best ever.
No, I would just I would go out there, pitch, I would pitch well, and I wouldn't have to think about it. I would just do it, and it that's what I was just so used to that. And then in college, all these guys. Like, these guys were all the best players at their schools. They're the best players on the travel team. And then, like, I'm going to be honest, when I, like, got to college, I was like, okay, there's no need. I should not be here. Like, it's not me. Like, I'm not that good at baseball. Like, you've seen these guys, they're, like, 95 miles an hour with, like, you know, plus pitches and, like, do whatever they want with the baseball. I'm like, and I'm here throwing max 92. That's on a very good day. Like, and just, like, you know, try my best to spot out pitches and stuff like that. And it was me overthinking everything. That's always been my problem. Like, especially in college, it was really bad. Just, like, I got on a mound, and, like, I would, like, even, like, the day before, I would throw, like, the best bullpen of my life. Like, you know, there's no pressure to it. And then I would be good, and then I would just get on a mound with, like, with a batter in, and, like, in live pitching, and I just couldn't. There was just something in my head that I would just start overthinking everything. It's like mechanics, like what this pitch is gonna do, like, think about the counts and all that stuff. I'm like, now realizing, like, that at the time I thought that's, like, what you had to do. Like, you know, like, coaches always say, like, oh, you got to like think about like the count, think about that, but, like, it's not what helped me. I just need to go out there and just throw this baseball. Think less. Like, when I overthink, like, it gets something goes wrong. And it definitely hurt my college career, I would say. But, like, I think it was a good thing, to be honest, because, like, now I realize it. Like, if I went through college, you know, pitched 20 innings a year, like, I'd be like, oh yeah, just, you know, it wasn't good enough. But, like, I do think I was good. I was definitely good enough to be there, but I would just overthink like, before every single pitch. Like, there was 1,000 thoughts going through my brain, and that's not. It's not the way it should be, to be honest. Like, for you, like, you did well in college. Like, you didn't think about when you pitched.
I got a little.
Yeah, but, like, but then, yeah. So, like, there was a time where a coach said something that really rattled me before my first outing ever in college, and that wasn't, like, the start. That wasn't about the start of it by any means, but, like, it just, like, hearing something like that, you're like, I get what he was, like, trying to like, fire me up, but, like, for me personally, that's not the way I needed it to be. It was, but, like, no, there's no, like, I don't, like, hate this coach at all by any means. Like, I see him all the time now, and we're very close, but, like, that's just not what I needed. I needed more of, like, a, hey, you're good, just calm down, get out there and just pitch like you know how to pitch. And it's not what he said, obviously, but it's also on me too for just my bright brain was just so, just, like, rattled, just, like, from seeing the talent, like, it was like imposter syndrome. Like, I don't think I should be here, to be honest.
How would you handle it differently today? If you
Today?
took the knowledge you had today and can apply it back then,
Yeah.
what would you have done differently?
So my junior year, we had a new pitching coach in college, and he was kind of just like the guy, like, he pretty much said, just, I remember the first day he ever coached me, I threw a flat ground, and it was the best. Like, it was amazing. Like, I was hitting every spot, like, snapping off some, he called them snapdragons, snapping off some curveballs. Like, I would throw a changeup, which I could never do in my life. Like, it was unreal. And, like, so he knew that it was, like, in there. He had to, like, figure out a way to unlock it. And, like, and I think he did. And then COVID happened. And then COVID kind of just messed of course, with the whole world, but it messed everything up with college. You know how it all is. And then, so that was my junior year was my last year of playing college baseball. But I wish I had him longer, because I think it would have been better. He was still like a dick, I don't want to say, but, like, he was still hard on you, but, like, he knew when to be hard on you and when to, like, okay, calm down, everything's fine, just lock it in and you'll be good. So he had a good feel for, like, that kind of part, I would say. But yeah, definitely, like, the mental thing, just not, I wasn't confident in myself, to be honest. Like, I don't know, it's, like, kind of tough to say now, like, and I realized it, it took me a while to realize it after I was done playing baseball. It took me a while to be like, hey, I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was good. Yeah, I didn't think I was good enough to be in college, to be honest, and kind of messed with me, both, like, mentally obviously, physically, just like not. I knew I wasn't pitching I knew I didn't pitch my best I could have when I was in college, and yeah, just kind of. I wish I could have like realized it earlier. I just thought I was like there, just to like be there. Like I thought I was like one of the guys that just, didn't pan out, and it just didn't pan out, But I would get my 4 years in. You'd be done with baseball after that, and then but I definitely was good enough to be there. Like now I'm very confident in like myself and my like game.
Yeah, we know we know how Isaiah loves himself some Isaiah.
I do, and I'm very confident. I wish I could go back, those 6 years ago. I think now I don't even know how old I am, and just be like, hey, go out there and throw a baseball like you know how to throw a baseball. We'll be good. But yeah, you said you had something to say.
Yeah, no. So my college career actually didn't start off how I had thought it would, or like how my coaches thought it would. I mean, I came in. I was immediately in the rotation as a freshman, which was like what they told me I would be, which was part of the reason I was going there. And then we're down in Florida. We're playing Findlay in Ohio. I got beef with Findlay because of this and the next time I faced him. But first batter of the game, well, I was really nervous. First of all, first college start, like you got butterflies,
very nerve-wracking.
Right? And
Very
then like
nerve-wracking.
first batter, strike him out. Okay, second batter, strike him out. I was like, all right, I think I can do this. And I remember my coach like looked at like the other coach. He was like, we got our guy. And then next pitch, swing and bunt, single. I was like, we contact, whatever. Next pitch, home run. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
And then I think I gave up another home run. I gave up like 4 runs in 4 innings or so. Like not the worst, but like it was an awakening. I was like, whoa, like.
Yeah.
And then I kind of struggled, was up and down like that whole year, in and out of the rotation. And then sophomore year comes around, in the rotation to start the year again, had like 2 just like the worst starts of all time. Like 7 runs in like 3 innings. To like the point where like we thought they had our signs, which like I don't know if we were just trying to like make ourselves feel better, but like this team was like just teeing off on all of us. Not even just like me, like everyone. And it was like just terrible. And then I faced Findlay again my next start. Gave up like 5 runs in 5 innings or something. So Findlay had my number. But yeah, and then right after that game, I had a conversation with my coach. We were in Florida. He called me down from the condo, and we just had a talk. He's like, and looking back on it, I know what he was trying to do. He basically was just like, you need to figure it the fuck out. Yeah. Like, you were supposed to be our guy. Like, I'm starting to give up on you. And he had that, like, really, like, hit me when he said that. I was almost like, I didn't show it, obviously, then, but, like, I got up in the condo, and I was like, I called my mom. I was like, he just said he's like giving up on me. Like I was almost in like tears. I might have actually cried. Like I was like, what is going on? And then I might have given up like 5 runs the rest of the year after that. And then just like the next couple of years junior year. Yeah, so the next like 2 years, then I was just like really solid for them. Just a nice rotation arm, but that was like it didn't start the way I thought it would, and
that's weird.
Yeah,
you're so used to like shoving,
mm-hmm.
Just, like,
especially in like my high school, like the conference we were in.
Yeah.
Respectfully, we were just way better than everybody. Like we went 69-3 in 4 years. Like that just shouldn't happen. That's a great number. 36-0 in 2 years on varsity. Like that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just used to throwing balls down the middle, getting them to swing and miss. Can't do that in college, obviously. No matter what level you're at.
It really is a different game.
No matter what level you're at. Like, this was Division II, and these dudes were...
Still, I think Division's BS.
Well, no, right. Like, especially... I shouldn't say especially. Like, high-level D2, which is, like, the GLVC, there's a million just bounce backs from D1.
Yeah.
So, like, there's D1 dudes, like, all over the place. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, career did not start the way I thought it was going to. And then like, I mean, my coach even told me after the fact, he's like, that's all I was trying to get out of you was just like that little bit of fire Like, I wanted you.
I don't mean to
No.
ask questions, but do you think him saying that to you was the reason why you started to shove, or was it more just like you want to be better, like just not even without him saying that? Like, do you think?
Yeah.
Like, do you think him saying that was the big reason why, or was it just you kind of just figuring out when it, like, you know?
I think it was a little bit of both. I'm not going to, like, say that's the reason why, but it definitely made me want to. I was like, fuck you. I'm going to do good now. Like, So, like, I don't know. I honestly think I just kind of just started doing better. Like, I was never, it was just such, like, weird, like, I never really got, like, rocked until that first game of the year, I got absolutely blasted. But, like, the next game, like, I didn't pitch bad against Finley. I was just, like,
one of those unfortunate
literally,
starts,
like, 11 hits that were just all, like, 43 miles an hour exit velo. Just, like, just a bunch of, like, which no excuses. Like, I gave up a lot of runs, but, like, just, like,
unfortunate things.
I was making some good pitches. It just, shit didn't go my way.
That happens every single
Yeah. And then, I don't know, stuff just really went my way the rest of that year. And then it just kept developing. Like, that next year, that's the summer after that's when I went to Northwoods, developed there, faced some really good hitters, had more confidence, came back, did really well. Went to Northwoods, Cape Cod, had even more confidence, came back, did well, and just kind of all played into each other.
I think that's super important that you guys both share those experiences, because things work for different people, different players, and there's no textbook or cookie cutter way for what works for a certain player. And, you know, we talk about it a lot, and not we, but it's talked about a lot that this next generation is soft. And is it soft? Is it not? It's not for me to decide, and I hate having those conversations because that conversation will always take a turn depending on who you're talking to. I do not like. I do not like having those conversations. It's not for me to decide. But there is something to be said about the way coaches can tailor their message towards certain players, and I think that's a sign towards a great coach. Okay, I know what makes this guy tick. I know what makes that guy tick, and being able to adjust and adapt.
But I mean, I don't want to like take a coach's side. I'm not taking anyone's side, but like in baseball, you have 35 guys on a roster. I think it is 35, something like that. And like trying to tailor to every single player, like I can't imagine what that has to be like for a coach. I coached like high school kids. I would just be there, like setting a lineup, you know, telling people when to go and when to come out. But like, it wasn't like for college coaches, it's a legit business. Like that's what they get paid. If their team performs well, they make more money. They play more games, make more money. You know, get more boosters to give the baseball team money. And like, I can't imagine like having 35 guys on the team, and each player you have to say like certain things to make them perform better, I guess, perform to their expectations. Like, that's physically impossible, I think, in my opinion.
I think that's maybe I didn't articulate what I was trying to say. I think there's a reason pitching coaches deal with pitchers. There's a reason hitting coaches deal. So I'm not saying group players based on their personality or what drives them or what motivates them or how they can take certain messages. It's not what I'm not saying categorize them, but hey, this guy responds. You know, a head coach might say, hey, this guy responds well to you. Go talk to him. And I think that is being able to tailor as much as you can. Because you're right, 35 guys on a roster, whatever. Like it's impossible to curate a message for every, for 35, curate 35 different messages. But hey, this guy responds well to you. Go talk to him. Or hey, you need to go get your guy here because whatever.
Definitely. No, I agree with that 100%. I just kind of was, just saying that it's tough.
So on the topic of pitching coaches, take me inside of a mound visit. Take me inside what's said, what should be said, what would you say in a mound visit?
Yeah.
I feel like that's always interesting. We see these, right?
Yeah, you never know what's going on.
We don't have the audio.
I've had mound visits go every single direction you can think of, to be honest. Like, back in high school, I love my coach, my travel ball coach. He would always just come up to me, and he would always just crack a joke because I would always get not like stressed out, but just like that's when I start to overthink and just kind of like get in my own head, and he kind of not knew when to come out, but like if it ever started to struggle, he'd come out, like just calm it down a little bit. He said, "Hey, you know, you're good. Throw the ball down the middle, make him hit it." And I'm like, "Okay, you're good. You're right." And then in college, it got a little bit different. Just with, like I said, it's a business for these coaches. Like that's how they make their money. So like it would be a little bit more, not stressful, but just like it would be a little more intense. Like and then that's when I really started thinking about. Like that's where I guess the coach would start thinking about like different pitch sequences for different guys because they all study these batters like days before. Like they would give me like what I'm gonna throw here. Like if I throw a ball, I'm gonna throw a fastball. After that, if I throw that for a ball, I'm gonna throw a curveball. Like that's when it would really start to get more thinking about like the situation instead of just throwing the baseball. But like when I played summer ball, the coach, he was the most calmest guy I've ever had in my life, and he would come out there, and there was times in mid game he would come out there, not say a word, hold the baseball, and I would be like, the first time it happened I was like what is going on? He just would never say anything. He would just hold the baseball, like rub it around a little bit, and then me and the catcher would just sit there awkwardly for a little bit, and then give the baseball back, and he would go back out. It's went every single way for me. So it was wild. It was weird for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to answer part of the question without even getting into like personal experience, like the mound visit, like there's multiple reasons for it. Yeah. Obviously, like to give the guy a break for one, to calm him down mentally is another huge one. Like settle him down. Or just like another, I guess, like figure out what's the strategy you want to do for like this hitter right now, with like without even throwing down signs. Like I've had that where they're like, all right,
yeah,
what do you want to throw these next 3 pitches? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Or like throw this guy like all sliders because he can't hit it or something like that. Or just like talking about, all right, you're gonna do a throwdown on this like strategy.
Yeah,
is another big one, but
you're gonna step off on this.
Yeah,
something like that for no reason.
Yeah, but I'd say my high school ones were more stressful than college, just because like I wasn't as close with the coach, because like I was really close with my pitching coach in college, and he's the head coach at Lewis now, and I still talk to him all the time. My dad's actually in Florida right now, just visiting his friend. He went to watch them play because they're in Florida, and he took a selfie with my coach in the middle of the game. Like that just shows like the relationship. Like my coach like he loves my family and me, and he would just come out. And this is the same guy that motherfucked me, by the way. But like he came out, he would come out to a mom visit and just look at me. The fuck's going on out here? And like so you kind of like.
It made you laugh.
It made you laugh a little bit to where like it eased you up. But sometimes the what the fuck's going on out here would be like what the fuck's going on out, like the serious one. Yeah. So like, yeah, it just depended on the moment. But for the most part, they were like lighthearted because that was usually.
They're intense moments.
Yeah, but usually like with me, it was like they need to either give me a break or like calm me down from something that just happened, I guess. But. Yeah.
Coaches, what are some of the best things coaches told you guys and some of the worst things? Things that didn't help, things that weren't helpful, versus things that you maybe carry into life now.
Yeah. So my head coach in college, he wasn't the pitching coach. Obviously I was a pitcher. But I was never like super close. Like like he was my coach. Like we were like as close as a coach and a very normal relationship. But like just like life lessons in general. Just be a good person. Like be a man and just I can like remember like he's always said so many things that like I definitely have carried into my life now. And like now, after being done with college and not like having to be around him, not like him, but just like kind of getting away from Bradley, like baseball, and like now just like seeing him as like a person instead of my coach. I can't say enough good things about this man. Like everyone after I was done playing baseball at Bradley, I was in the transfer portal for a while, and I remember I was talking to him just about like everything that happened, and like he felt so bad, obviously, and then like I was 21 years old, like was like don't know what I'm gonna do with my life after this, and he was like, hey, if there's anything you ever need, trust me, I will be here for you. Like, and like again, we weren't like it's not like me and him were like best friends when we were doing everything, but like he taught me there's so many things that just he would just say and like how he would act, like what he would fucking dealt with a lot of shit in his life. Just like seeing him now, like it was I still like if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be with my life, to be honest. Like it would be like I don't know. I don't think I'd be working. I think I would be just kind of one of those. I don't want to say like bums, but just like I would just be like doing nothing with my life basically, and just trying to like and not wanting to do anything. But like he like kind of drove me to do it, and I really and like I see him now, and me and him will talk for hours, and I've talked with him more now since I've been out of college than when I was in college. Like, and me and him we just mess around with each other, like just like shoot the shit, like just. And I would never do that when I was in college because I was like not like scared of him, but just like he's your head coach. Like you gotta you can't. There's some things you can say to a coach, some things you can't say to a coach, and like now I can do it, but I really can't say enough good things about him. And like at the time when I was in college, did not like him one bit, but now. I love that man. I really do. I really do. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess one of the things that one of my coaches in high school told me or taught me, I guess, which really wasn't a life lesson, it was more like a pitching lesson. It was because I've never been like I've never had that like FU like presence about me, especially on the mound. But my coach would force me to like pretend to have it, and it just like you switch on that persona when you get out there.
I trying to do that too.
And I started doing it a little bit, and it made a difference with me for sure. Like feeling like you're attacking every pitch instead of just letting it go. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like
no, I know exactly. What
yeah,
you mean.
just have that like bulldog. I'm gonna. I don't even know how to like word it. It's just
so,
like
you say if it's like you're having a bad day, you're throwing 85 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, this is gonna be the hardest 85 you've ever seen in your life. Get it right down the
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something like one of the,
just F you, here it is. Like come try and hit it.
Come hit this. Like,
yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. I know what you mean.
So like he helped me with the mental side of that, and then my head coach at pitching coach at Lewis, now the head coach, he showed me just like with his own actions like resiliency can really pay off. And just like sticking to what you want. Like if you want something, you can wait around for it a little bit, like don't get impatient, like wait your turn in a way, and just don't give up. Like he was the assistant coach at Lewis for a long time. Up until like 2 years ago, and he was there since like 2014 or so. So like almost a decade maybe. He was the assistant, and he was just the hardest working dude ever. Very underpaid for what he was doing, but he just stuck through it and just grinded his ass off, and now he's the head coach. So like, just like, don't give up. Like if it's not happening right away, like it might. Like don't. It's definitely not going to happen if you give up. So you might as well just keep trying if you really want it that bad. Yeah. So.
One of the biggest pieces of advice I took from a coach, I go back to wrestling because I think wrestling taught me so many life lessons. Kind of what you guys were talking about, here's my fastball, hit it, or, kind of that, you versus hitter type mentality. When I was out on the mat, like, it was just me and another person.
Yeah.
It was just like, and he is trying to kick my ass, so I'm not gonna let him.
Yeah.
And I remember one practice, I had like the worst practice of all time. It was my senior year. Like, I was pretty good. I was state ranked, top 10 in the state, and my coach, he saw I was having a pretty bad practice. I was getting beat up on my teammates in the room that I would normally beat up on, and not only was it embarrassing, like, I'm supposed to, like, I'm state ranked, like, what the fuck, like, yeah, and I'm getting beat up by my teammates, and like, I think I was so frustrated. It's probably the only time I've ever been so frustrated. I was like almost moved to tears.
Yeah.
And my coach came over to me. He told me, he goes, Tino, you can't. And my biggest goal was to qualify for the state tournament. And this was towards the beginning of the season. February is when the state series is, the regional, sectional, state, how it is in Illinois. And he goes, Tino, like, you can't qualify for state in November. And just like those few words kind of stuck with me. And well, because you gotta get better every day. Like, you can't take it all in one day. Like, I couldn't accomplish something in November that was meant for February, and I take that into my life even now. There's gonna be a time for all this. How do you prepare for that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you take it day by day and prepare for that moment? Because it's gonna come. Like, are you ready for it? Did you do the work? And it'll show. Come, and whatever it is in life, your February is gonna come. Did you do that work starting in November to get there?
Yeah.
So that's something that I take into my life, like, every day. There's a lot of personality traits I notice in pitchers. I see Max Scherzer, even Trevor Bauer, guys that I grew up watching, Carlos Zambrano, like, this mentality, these strong personality traits. What do you guys have that made you guys successful pitchers? Like, what personality or mentality did you guys carry that kind of, that you can compare to guys like that?
I guess for me, like, I mean, I had that, like, bulldog persona, but it wasn't, like, actually me. It was just a show,
I was the same way.
Yeah. And it was like,
for some reason, I just think I needed to do it.
yeah. But the thing that I did on purpose that I think did help me was I was an extremely fast worker on the mound. Like, I was really quick, got the ball, and went. Like, the less thinking I could do, the better. Because the second you overthink, you overanalyze, and then you just mess with yourself.
It just made me realize I took so long to throw a baseball.
Yeah.
It took me 10 minutes to throw a baseball.
Yeah, and like
Pitch clock. I mean, you would have benefited from the pitch clock.
I would have loved it. But, like,
Could have been better. Could have been better.
It's all right. I had, like, some OCD with, like, practicing to where, like, I would just be in a mirror, like, looking at my arm slot. Like, I burned it into my brain to where I didn't need to think about it, to where I could just go. And I would just be so fast that I'm only thinking about, like, what is the catcher putting down right now? Do I want to throw that? Yeah, okay, here we go. And, like, that's it.
Yeah. I was a little bit different. There was a point in my, like, baseball career where I tried to be, like, a bulldog, kind of, like, and it just did not work out. Like, it was too, like, awkward. I don't know. It was just weird. It was really weird. No, not like that, but just, like, just didn't work out. But, like, when I pitched my best, it was me just, like, slowing my fucking heart down, like, just, and, like, like, I could have been on my 9th inning of pitching, and I would just be, just be out there throwing a baseball, basically. Like, I wouldn't do anything, like, crazy, like, wouldn't do any, like, velo twirls or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't, like, really say anything. I would just be up on the mound, just, going through the motions. I don't want to say going through the motions, but just, like, throwing the baseball. Yeah, just throwing the baseball. And then, like, I would, get on my inning, go sit down. I wouldn't really talk. And I would, that's what I needed. I didn't talk to anyone when I pitched. That was my one thing. Hated to talk to people, which is kind of weird because, I like to talk a lot now. But, like, when I pitched, I just needed just to sit down. And, like, I wouldn't even think about me pitching. I would just sit down, think of just the most random things you could think of. Just, like, life, like, just a bunch of weird stuff. But, like, when I pitched my best, that's what I would do. I would just kind of go. I would throw, get on my inning, walk back to the dugout, sit down, get back up right before I was about to go out, do some stretches a little bit, get a little bit loose, and then go out there, pitch, same thing. That's literally all I would do. When I tried to be a bulldog and like, it was not the way like I don't know. I guess I was supposed to pitch. I don't know, and it felt weird for me to do it. It really felt really weird. It felt uncomfortable and awkward.
I like it because my coach, like the guy that told me to do it, he was just like hilarious old guy with like a raspy voice, and I would just hear him from the dugout. I was be a bulldog. So I just feel like, all right, here we go. So he would kind of like get me in the middle, and get me in the mood for it.
Wasn't me. I'd be smiling on the mound, just be like, hey, just out here having fun.
I was always in a good mood. I was never like it.
No, like I would just be like.
It wasn't even like being an asshole. It was just like, oh, be a bulldog? Okay, so that means like mentally be a bulldog. Like, don't like flick somebody off.
No, not like that. Nothing like that. But just like I don't know. Like I would just like I wouldn't even like think about anything.
It's just a mindset.
It was weird. Like my head would literally go blank.
Yeah.
I was pitching my best. Like I couldn't remember what I was thinking about. Like I wouldn't think about the pitches. I wouldn't think about anything. Catcher would put it down and throw it. Ball back. If he hit it, and then it was weird. Yeah, it was really strange, but the bulldog thing really wasn't for me.
So, Division I pitcher, D2 pitcher, Cape Cod League experience, all GLVC 2 times, all decade team at Lewis from 2010 to 2019. That decade. What's your biggest advice to someone who wants to be that next Division I pitcher, that wants to be the next all-decade team at their respective school that they attend?
So I think now in Division I, with all the transfers going on, like even at mid-majors, like there's guys that are 25, like older than I am right now, that are still somehow playing college baseball, like. I can't stress it enough. Like, when I was in high school, like, I don't want to say junior college was like frowned upon, but more there was like a.
Depends where.
Yeah, it depends where, obviously, but like, some guy would be going to McHenry or something like that. Like, he's just trying to prolong his career by 2 years. Like that's what happened when I was in college or when I was in high school. But like now, like they're legit like prospects playing at these like junior colleges, like people that could get drafted after 1 year there, and it's just like, especially now with all these people like transferring, like and like, with COVID, how it messed everything up. Like I can't like go to a school where you'll play right away, and also where you have a real connection with the coaches, and you believe that they can not only make you like a better baseball player, but make you a better just person in general, to be honest. And like for me, like looking back, and I wish I went to junior college just to kind of get like mentally, just kind of figure out like how to pitch, like how to pitch at the next level. And like that's something I kind of like going from high school. I'd be just not even thinking about it, just throwing, and it just worked out. But like. Then you go to college, and then like you're playing legit guys that are gonna get drafted in the top 5 rounds, and now it's a little bit more different. You can't just throw your 80-mile-per-hour changeup down the middle anymore. You have to kind of find spots and stuff like that. But learning just how to just play the game at the next level. Like I have to think it's very important to find that in a school, and then but also like. The coaches you have to connect with your coaches. You have to connect with them so much. Like they're gonna be coaches for 2+ years. Like if you're not connecting with them, and it's not gonna make you want to be better, to be honest. So just I was like connect with the coaches, and if you're gonna play, find a place you're gonna play right away. And that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that I touch on at work when I talk to kids. It's like, throw the Roman numeral away. It doesn't matter, because it's literally the only thing that matters is you growing and developing. you want to say you went to this school to flex on people? Well, guess what? You threw 1 inning and you didn't play at all. It's like, cool, you got the shirt and I see you wearing it to the gym, but you're not playing. That's not very cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool that I guess you go there, but it's like, go where you're going to play, first of all. Go where you're going to develop. Because if your goals really are to get to the next level, you have to play in order to develop.
You have to be good.
Yeah, and
you're not going to be an average college baseball player. You got to be the top 1% of college baseball.
They're not drafting. They're not drafting dudes that don't play.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally. Well, the other thing is like, or one of the other things is that there's ballers at every level. Literally, legitimately. Like, I mean, it's partially our job now to see, like, I mean, we're seeing where these kids go from the high school ranks, and left and right, kids going all over the place that could all go Division I. It's like, just throw the Roman numeral away. If you're good enough to make it to the next level, and if that's your goal, that's their job to find you.
Yeah.
That they literally, their only job, the scouts, is to find you.
And scouts aren't stupid. They're gonna find
Yeah.
MLB scouts aren't you don't think they there's guys from Division III NAIs or something like that.
I mean, this
Still
day,
get drafted pretty high.
in this day and age, a scout, a coach picks up the phone. They got 10 names just like that.
For 5 seconds, you'll see 65 names that from some random NAI school in the middle of Idaho that is like legit, and he's gonna go to the pros one day. It's just like don't do anything with. You can't think about D2, D3, D1. Like, it means nothing. You just get you get cool stuff when you're on D1, but it literally means nothing. But yeah.
I think it's immature to write off a school because of their division.
I agree.
Which is what I did, and which is why I think it's immature, because I know the exact mindset that I had when I did it, and I know that these kids are thinking the same thing. There were schools that I didn't even text back.
Oh, same.
I didn't text Illinois Springfield back the first time they contacted me, and guess what? Now they're an absolute wagon in Division II. Yeah, right.
After Bradley.
Yeah, didn't even text them back because you're not Division I. I'm not gonna. Why would I go to you?
I was somewhat in the same boat. I would say.
Yeah.
A little bit, not like. I definitely wanted to go D1. Just it was.
Yeah,
to be honest,
everyone does.
Yeah,
Everyone does, but
it.
I promise you, look past that and go where is best for you.
Yeah.
Like, it does not matter, like the Roman numeral.
No, not one bit.
The thing about not about blowing off a school, just never do it, because coaches talk. So like, you blew off that D3. Guess what? That D3 is also probably watching a game next to that D1 you want to go to, and they're gonna shoot the shit. And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I talked to him. He didn't text me back." He's gonna be like, "Oh really?" And then he'll write you off.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
People do, coach. Everyone knows everyone in the baseball world. Pro scouts know the NAIA coach from middle of nowhere. Everyone knows everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys all know. So many people that you see so many times, and you're just like, kind of start to get to know each other, and you start talking about random players, and then you hear some things. You're like, okay, that might suck. Like, personally.
yes, as a person,
yeah. Talent wise, he's good, but he sucks as a person.
Yeah.
I don't want to recruit him anymore.
And that actually does matter. Like, at you as a person. Like, I have a story of a personal teammate of mine at Lewis. He was a very good player out of De Pere, Wisconsin. Yeah.
The mascot of De Pere.
I do not know.
Cardinals, come on.
He was a really good bat, lefty outfielder. Could really swing it, and he did at Lewis. He was also all-decade. He had Minnesota out to watch him. He didn't know they were there. He's told us his story multiple times. He rolled over, goes to third base, or runs to first base, throws his helmet down, watches it dribble up to the fence, looks up, Minnesota. And the coach just walks off.
Yeah.
So it actually matters.
Wow.
They think no, I'm good enough. They won't care. They care a lot. Doesn't matter who you are. Yeah.
You hear all these coaches when we were in middle school, high school, coaches are always watching, and you think oh, I bet you they are
they purposely.
I don't want to sound like an old baseball guy, but they really are. They watch. They don't even if they're coming to watch you, they know you're good enough to play there. But if they're watching you, they're trying to see like, hey, how does he like react to like bad situations? Like not everyone's gonna go, 3 for 3 with 2 bombs and a triple or something like that. Like they want to see you go 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, and 2 little shitty ground outs. So and they want to see how you react to that. If you react good, like I'm not gonna say that like, oh, you're getting a scholarship right away, but like that's gonna be something they remember instead of you, going 2 for 3 with 2 home runs or whatever it is. But yeah, that's something what I've realized, especially like what we do now. Like you just talk to coaches and there's some legit dudes that they just think they're so much better than they actually are, and they just for some reason don't not like hustle or try or whatever it is, and they get wrote off real quick from college coaches.
Mm-hmm. What what makes your guys' story unique in their own way, but also super achievable for the person that wants to be the next Isaiah Glidden and Peter Hamot?
That's a tough one. Well, I'm gonna start off with unique. In high school, I was one of the better players in the state, and I got like a bunch of attention from colleges, like certain even like eighth grade freshman year. That's when like I forgot like my first calls from like D1 schools. I'm like what the heck is going on? And then yeah. It was weird. It was strange, but like it wasn't like serious. But like they would like talk to me, and I was like, or like talk to my family. I guess at the time. I don't know. It was definitely like strange, but like I didn't get my first offer until I was a freshman in high school. But it was my hometown, hometown school. So it's not Milwaukee, UW Milwaukee. Yeah. But I wanted to get out, so I obviously didn't accept it. But yeah, so I was, one of the guys in the state where I was just a good baseball player. I went to college. I thought it was gonna be the same thing. I'd be not the best, but like I'd be a solid college baseball player, and then after that, could get drafted, or could go to the pro somehow, whatever way it took me. But then like getting to college, you're like, I touched on this earlier, but just like you're like, holy fuck, not that good. Got to figure it out. And then I didn't when I was in college. I pitched probably 15 innings. I think in my 3 years I was there. Maybe actually probably a little bit more, like 20, less than 20. And just like, I definitely I could have pitched more. Going back, that's the mental thing. I could have pitched more. Mentally, so fucked up. But just like. I think that's how it was like pretty unique. Just like kind of just like the mental side of everything. Like it's so much more than people like actually like think. You think like you see all these guys playing baseball. You think they pretty much look like robots and like that. But that's kind of what you need to do. Like especially as a pitcher, like you're expected to go out there and shove because baseball's like hitting a baseball might be the hardest thing to do in sports. Expected to go out there, throw it down the middle, or not throw it down the middle, but get outs. Pitch your innings.
Fly out VP.
But like, and it's just like, and then it just college just like messed me up mentally. Not in that bad of a way, but just like me like kind of thinking like, oh, not supposed to be here. I'm not that good. Just like I'm just here just because I got lucky. Whatever it was, and I think that kind of makes it unique to a certain extent. But yeah, if you want to go.
I guess. I mean, everyone is different, obviously, but I guess one of the main things that I just see with my day to day, and I can kind of relate to me is like, don't compare yourself to others like ever.
That was my problem.
Yeah, like, like everyone blooms at a different time. Like I was kind of a late bloomer. Like I was still a good high school player. Like I was still getting a good love, but I didn't actually like develop until college. And like I always would kind of compare myself to like guys in the state, and it was like, man, these guys are just better than me. That was kind of like not imposter syndrome either, but like just the last thing, you're not, you don't need to compare yourself to anyone. Like the only thing that you need to worry about is just finding a spot for you, because the coaches, like, yeah, they might be comparing you to other people, but like that doesn't mean that they don't like you for you. Even if that like you think they're better than you, they might not see it that way. Like, don't get wrapped up in comparing yourself, because everyone has their own set of skills. Everyone has their own things that makes them different. Like, just comparing yourself, I mean, it's like one of the worst things you can do. But
Guys, that was awesome. Appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else we didn't talk about that people need to hear?